NBA legends explain why Larry Bird was a monster. Now, look, bro, a lot of y'all in my comments from my last Larry Bird video wanted me to react to more Larry Bird. Y'all sent me some links to react to. I appreciate that. So, hey, if y'all want me to react to other videos, let me know in my comments. But look, man, like, comment, subscribe. Go watch my other videos. Fuck with me. Tune in to me. You hear me? But, hey, NBA legends explain why the white Jesus was that man, bro.
There are players who played the game.
Let's see what they talk about.
And then there are players who rewrote how it was played.
I'm Gen Zer, so I really... Bro, a 1 foot fader is... Let's keep going. I ain't gonna start the video too much, but... 1 foot fader?
When people talk about Larry Bird, they often start with the cliches. The slow white guy who some people talk about Larry Bird, they often start with the cliches. The slow white guy who somehow beat everybody. The guy who didn't jump high, didn't run fast, and still torched the league for over a decade. But if you strip away the stereotypes, if you ignore the jokes and highlight reels, what's left is the cold, hard truth that's echoed by every legend who ever shared the court with him. Larry Bird wasn't just good. He wasn't just great. He was built differently. And that difference wasn't measured in inches or speed.
Fader on 2 people.
It was measured in instinct, in calculation, and in the way he made the extraordinary look routine. He didn't need the crowd to erupt. He didn't need the cameras to be on him. He needed the ball, the moment, and an opponent foolish enough to think they had the upper hand. From the moment he stepped into the league in 1979, Bird commanded respect in a way few rookies ever have. And over the next 13 seasons, he built a legacy not just with numbers and accolades, moments so precise and surreal that they're still retold with disbelief decades later. But don't take our word for it. Listen to the ones who played against him, the ones who tried to stop him. Because if you want to know what Larry Bird was really like, the legends will tell you better than any stat sheet ever could. Even players who didn't face Bird
He was Kyrie. I'm telling you, he was Kyrie before Kyrie.
Directly, who came into the league after his retirement, speak about him with a kind of reverence. They've studied the tape, they've watched the plays, and they understand just how ahead of his time Larry really was. Baron Davis and Iman Shumpert, 2 modern-era players with high basketball IQs, broke it down in a podcast that went viral for one reason. It didn't sound like nostalgia. It sounded like the truth. In a 2024 episode of their show, Baron and Shump got real about what it would look like if Bird laced them up in the modern NBA. No hand-checking, more spacing, rules tilted toward offense. They didn't play against Bird, but they've seen the film. They know the tempo. And they recognize how his skill set would...
Look at that boy. Look at that. He look like he about to cook somebody. No, I ain't gonna lie. He don't look like he about to cook nobody. He look like he about to go to Lowe's and help somebody pick out some paint. Instead, he giving everybody 40. I feel him, bro. This is crazy. Larry Bird was the
only get deadlier in today's system.
Look at the aura. You know how much aura was in that picture? That's a lot of aura.
Like, are you kidding me? Larry Bird in this era? Are you kidding me?
60 a game.
That's what be boiling my blood, but people
been more rough though.
For who?
For Larry.
How?
I'm gonna keep it 100. I think it'd been more rough because it's more athleticism in today's era. So it's probably a lot of people faster. You know what I'm saying? I think Larry would have cooked. He would have averaged 30, maybe. But he wouldn't been like, you know.
How?
And it starts.
What you mean?
How?
Just the physical capability.
He's 6'10", dude.
Yeah, he is 6'10".
That's a lot of 6'10".
2'4". Okay.
Nah, it's a lot of that. That's all I'm saying. He birthed that. Don't get me wrong, he birthed it. I'm just saying. We hadn't seen it
Who's
then.
going to be matched up against Larry Bird? Karl Anthony Towns.
No.
That's a nightmare, man.
No. Karl Anthony Towns on Larry. Karl Anthony Towns a power forward. Larry Bird a small forward. Nah, I ain't matching no fucking Karl Anthony Towns. I'm putting Inoubili on Larry. Larry gonna give Inoubili 40 though. I ain't gonna lie.
Karl Anthony.
But if you really want to know who Larry Bird was, you've got to go to the ones who actually stood across from him. Karl Malone has one of the most legendary Bird stories ever told. It's not just funny, it's surgical. He said, "I'm gonna get it right here. I'm gonna shoot from this corner. You know what I'm gonna do." Malone said it perfectly. I what he will do, and I still can't stop it. Bird got the ball, just like he said, rose up and hit the jumper from the exact spot.
I remember sitting on the bench, watching Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. And Larry Bird did something. To me, I'm still marveled at this. And he got so many people. It was a timeout. And one of our teammates, Bart Kofold, had a camera. Right. He's taking pictures. So Larry Bird came over there and looked at our bench. And he said, 3-pointer. From right over here.
From right over here.
So I'm sitting over there looking like that Babe Ruth, calling your shot already, right?
Yeah.
So Isaiah, I'm sitting there looking. He looked down at the floor. Hell, everybody looked down at the floor. He like he threw something. And he hit a 3.
Can you believe that?
That boy was not. Hey, I'm about to go right here. Yeah, I might hit him right here. He just one of them ones, man.
Kind of looking over at the bench like this gonna be a long night.
That's
That
crazy
was Bird.
though. Bird probably one
He
of the
didn't
first
need
ones
Flash to
ever
embarrass you, just a moment and a motive. And it didn't matter who you were. Rookie or vet, all-star or bench guy. If you were on the floor, Bird had a target on you. Just ask Dominique Wilkins. In a playoff game, Wilkins approached Bird for a pre-game handshake. Bird kept his hands behind his back. He didn't say a word, just stared. Wilkins...
Did he just make that?
Bird kept his hands behind his back. He didn't say a word, just stared. Wilkins said, okay, he's just getting into the game. But then Bird gave him 38, still without speaking.
He said then Bird get him 38. And they didn't say nothing to him. Just fried him.
I go shake his hand, and he put both hands behind his back. And I'm saying, okay.
Barbecue baked biscuits.
And first play of the game, he says, I don't know where they got you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. I was pissed.
I don't know why they got you guarding me, homie. Hey, homie, imagine Bird saying that. I don't even know how Bird talk. Imagine they got you guarding me, homie. And then hit that bit. Money. Oh, nah, Bird was disrespectful. He was disrespectful.
Guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3.
Disrespectful?
I was pissed. I said, I wasn't mad.
Nah, Larry a real
3.
deal.
But this bitch just called me Holmes. And so it's set up for a really interesting game. Because I remember one time I came down and I dunked it on him. He laying on the ground. He fouled me, and I'm pointing. And he said, hey, Rook. I said, what? He said, what? He said, I like you. You got, he said, you got balls, but I'm still going to get 30 on your ass. He got about...
It wasn't personal.
That nigga
it was
Bird
psychological.
was different.
Bird didn't need to engage in theatrics.
Let me hold
he
that.
just needed the basketball. But when it came to talking, Larry could match anyone. And he often didn't just talk. He narrated. Gary Payton, one of the most legendary trash talkers in NBA history. Still remember...
I gotta watch the Gary Payton trash talking video, bro. If y'all want to see that, let me know in the comments if y'all want to see that, bro. I got to, bro. Because I feel like Gary was one of the ones. He up there in the trash talking. I feel like
the way Bird toyed with defenders. Payton recalled, we'd be in the huddle and he'd be like, you guys don't even need to guard me. I'm just going to stand out here at the three-point line. Then he said, I'm going to shoot it in your face right there in the corner. And he'd do it. He used to tell me, I'm going to shoot this 3 right in your face. Then he'd say, why is your coach still putting you on me? That wasn't bravado. That was truth.
Disrespectful.
Bird didn't just predict outcomes. He delivered them.
Well, as much of a trash talker as you are, you actually said there's someone who's actually greater than you. And that is Larry Bird.
Absolutely.
Or you said that not only would he talk shit to you, but he would tell you what he's going to do to you on the court. He's like, I'm going to shoot this from here. Boom. Oh, now I'm going to I'm going to bust your ass here. Larry Bird, of all people, you would think. But he was the truth.
He was, let me tell you something. People always talk about great basketball players. And they don't never mention him to be up in that round when they made the Magics,
Larry
the
Bird
Jordans,
top 10 for sure.
The Kobe's and stuff like that. But Larry Bird was cold. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him. You ask Magic. That's why Magic had a run, and he was mad when he had to retire in '92 because of what he was going to be missing with Larry.
Byron Scott remembers it.
That nigga said, can't nobody get down with him. When a nigga tell you can't nobody get down with him, you can't get down with it, I'm telling you.
In one game, Bird told him, I'm going to get it right here, and I'm going to shoot it right in your face. Scott didn't take it seriously. He said, whatever. But Bird got the ball, rose up, hit the shot, and then turned and said, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock.
So we playing them in the last play. He says to James Worthy, he says, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over there that corner. He said, they're going to set a screen for me. We're taking the ball out. He said, I'm going to curl right over. And he's telling us to play. He's telling us to play before they even take it out. He said, I'm going to go right over to that corner, and I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be. They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
DJ,
the late, great DJ.
Yeah.
Take the ball out, the man curl right to the corner, caught the shot, shot a three.
Money! That curl was hard, though. That curl, let me hold that. He grabbed my shirt. Let me hold that. That's aura. That is so much aura.
Ball out, the man.
That's so much
right
aura.
to the corner.
I gotta get me a 33 jersey. I gotta get a 33 jersey just because of that aura. That looked like so much. He grabbing the jersey. Let me hold that. Money. I got so much respect for Larry Bird now. Just off these 2 videos I watched, Larry Bird. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm sorry, Larry Bird. I probably disrespected you in the past. I ain't gonna let no more disrespect you on that anymore. No more Larry disrespect ever in life.
It's like, are you?
I need that 33 jersey.
Go to shake his hand. I'm a rookie.
Doc Rivers is known today as a seasoned NBA coach, a former champion on the sideline, and one of the league's most respected voices. But before any of that, he was a player, a gritty, intelligent guard who had to go toe-to-toe with some of the toughest names in the league during the 1980s and 90s.
This is a
and
fact.
during that time, he experienced something unforgettable. He didn't just hear about Larry Bird's greatness in interviews or watch it on grainy film. He lived through it specifically, one of the most iconic scoring performances in NBA history. Rivers was on the court the night Bird dropped 60 points, and it wasn't the kind of performance that snuck up on anyone. From the opening minutes,
60.
Bird let everyone know exactly what was coming. Not just that he was going to score, but how. Before each shot, he called his move, told defenders what spot he was getting to, and then executed it to perfection. There were no tricks, no surprises, just pure dominance from start to finish. Rivers saw it all unfold in real time, and it left an impression that still resonates decades later. Because when a player does time, and it left an impression that still resonates decades.
Bro, he threw the ball between his legs, bro. What is Larry
Rivers
Bird
saw it
on,
all
bro?
unfold in real
Larry
time,
Bird was a
and it left an
magician.
impression that still resonates decades
Yo.
later. Because when a player doesn't just torch your
I
team,
need that 33 jersey.
but tells you exactly how he's going to do it and still can't be stopped. You remember?
Did Larry go to? No, he went to Indiana.
Remember? Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the Bird night. Yeah, that was a tough night, man. The biggest argument that night is, well, you only scored 6 on me.
But nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying to.
No, but when a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots, and Bird talked a lot of trash.
And that's in New Orleans.
That's in New Orleans. In that game, we're on the free throw line, and he literally says, left side over across the 3, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
But okay, so you guys got Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston got fined by Fratello, I think,
and Eddie Johnson for celebrating
Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever, because back then you didn't have you watched the real game and just went with a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times. He just kept not the shot, he just kept rewinding it, showing the guys. You remember they were giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah, that was
Johnson.
I'm
not even gonna lie. Why?
That was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah,
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter, and Antoine Carr and Cliff gives each other a high five. And our film.
Yo, imagine a player having your own team, like really celebrating, bro. Like, bro. Larry Bird is he different.
Session was 20 minutes of that. So it was.
It wasn't somebody not playing good defense on Bird. It was you guys celebrating Larry Bird.
And Fratello wouldn't let it go. He just kept rewinding.
Nah, that's funny. I ain't gonna lie. Larry Bird was cooking the ball.
And it was.
I can't blame him. I can't blame him, bro. Like, if he cooking like that, it's like he really made that. When he made that bitch fading out of bounds, that last one, hold on. When he made that last one fading out of bounds, that was crazy.
That was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter, and Antoine Carr and Cliff gives each other a high five. And our film session was 20 minutes of that. So it was.
It wasn't somebody not playing good defense on Bird. It was you guys celebrating Larry Bird.
And Fratello wouldn't let it go. He just kept rewinding. And it was.
I think Bird went by the bench one time too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, off the glass into the trainer. And, yeah, and so...
Red Auerbach wasn't just...
He said off the glass into the trainer is crazy. Nah. Never did he say that. Now, Larry, I ain't even gonna lie.
The coach. He was the architect of the Boston...
I gotta get a 33 jersey, and I gotta put respect on Larry's name. I'm not gonna lie.
And so...
Red Auerbach wasn't just a
Red
coach.
Auerbach.
He was the architect of the Boston Celtics dynasty. A man who built champions across multiple decades and who set the gold standard for what excellence looked like in professional basketball. By the time Larry Bird entered the league, Auerbach had already coached and mentored legends. He had seen Russell dominate the paint, Havlicek run the break, and Cousy dazzle with his handles. So when Auerbach spoke about a player, it carried the weight of experience, legacy, and credibility. And what he said about Larry Bird was simple but revealing. Bird didn't need motivation. He didn't need a push from a coach, a rival, or the crowd. He came ready every single night. With Bird, there was never a question or the crowd. He came ready every single night. With Bird, there was no...
That jab, oh my God, bro. He catching bodies with that move. Larry Bird be tripping.
Never a question about effort or focus.
Larry Bird was nasty.
He approached each game like it was a final exam and prepared to pass it with precision.
Crazy. Did this man just stop? Bro, what is he doing? Yeah, I definitely got to watch the passing highlights of Larry Bird. Yeah, I got to.
He approached each game like it was a final exam and prepared to pass it with precision. To Red, Bird wasn't just consistent, he was relentless. And coming from a man who had coached more Hall of Famers than most people can name, that kind of praise wasn't handed out lightly. It was earned.
You can make a case for the greatest player of all time for Russell, for Bird, for Jordan, for Magic, and for Kareem. Those five, you can make a case as to who the greatest, most valuable player of all time is. Larry Bird was like a Magic Johnson, or a Magic Johnson was like a Larry Bird. They try to add something new every year. They work harder than the rest of them. When practice is over, you could see Larry Bird out there every day, shooting for another 20 minutes, another half hour. If he didn't get enough running, he'd do some laps. He would just work hard. But above all, he was the most highly self-motivated athlete I ever was connected with. Larry Bird was. Forget the fact that he plays hurt.
Motivation go a lot, boy. Go a long way.
I saw him one day with a foot that if it was me, I'd be in bed. It was all shiny and infected. He had the doctor come in, cut it, put a bandage on. He went out and played.
A real nigga.
Unbelievable. He didn't have to play.
Larry Bird was a real, you know what I'm saying? That little boo ain't hurting nothing.
But that's how those great ones are.
In just 13 seasons, Bird accomplished more than most players could dream.
I gotta get that Indiana State jersey too. Fuck all that. I need that Indiana State 33. I need that. And that Michigan State 3. I need that Michigan State 3 too, though.
In 20. He was a 3-time NBA champion. He won 3 consecutive MVPs from 1984 to 1986. He was named to 12 All-Star teams. He won Rookie of the Year, 2 Finals MVPs, and earned a spot on both the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams. He averaged over 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists per game.
That's crazy.
He shot over 37% from 3.
He averaged 6 assists. I ain't gonna lie. Nah. He tough. 37%. Oh, yeah. Bird was nasty. Yeah. 24, 10, and 6. A lot of people ain't averaging 24, 10.
During an era when teams barely used the 3-point shot. He became the founding member of the 50-40-90 club, shooting over 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the line in a single season.
Nasty.
He did all of it with injuries that would sideline most players today. He dove for loose balls.
He should have been doing that, man. Why did they have the aura guy, Larry Bird, diving for loose balls and stuff? Like, what we doing, bro? They should have had everybody else doing all that, bro. We shouldn't have had the white Jesus doing that. What we doing?
Played through back pain. He played with tape, ice, grit, and pride. Bird wasn't a highlight machine. He was a machine, period. He saw the court like a point guard, rebounded like a power forward. shot like a shooting guard, saw the court like a point guard, rebounded like a power forward, shot.
Bro, Larry Bird, bro, chill out, bro. What is you, yo? No, I gotta watch his passing highlights.
Like a shooting guard, and led like a franchise player. In today's NBA, with more possessions, more space, and more freedom, Bird's numbers wouldn't decline, they'd explode. Because the league has evolved into the style of play Larry Bird was already mastering in the 1980s. He didn't wait for permission. He didn't follow trends. He set them. And that's why the legends can't stop talking about him. It's not nostalgia. It's not exaggeration. It's memory and respect. They didn't just play against Larry Bird. They were outthought, outplayed, and in many cases, left stunned by how simple he made the game look. Bird didn't win because of brute force or blinding speed. He won because he saw the game a half-second earlier than everyone else. And once he saw something, he acted on it with no hesitation. That's what separated him. Not just that he knew what to do, but that he did it before you could react. He wasn't concerned with looking the
his
part.
Is crazy.
He was concerned with winning. He didn't measure greatness through flash or marketability. He measured it in results. He didn't care.
Yeah, we watching this passing highlights next, because this nigga out here, yo, I ain't gonna lie.
Care who was in front of him, whether it was a future Hall of Famer or a rookie on his first 10-day contract. He approached every game the same way, with an edge, a plan, and a relentless drive to prove that basketball wasn't about who jumped the highest or talked the loudest. It was about who understood the game best. And more often than not, that was Larry. Each story you hear, whether it's Baron Davis talking about how Bird would thrive in today's game, or Gary Payton shaking his head in disbelief at Bird's in-game predictions, comes from a place of deep, almost reverent respect. These aren't just compliments, they're admissions, because even among the greatest to ever play the game, Bird left an impression that time hasn't erased. The stories may vary in detail, but they all land in the same place. He wasn't like the others. He thought faster, played smarter, and competed harder than almost anyone the league has ever seen. So when players across generations, from the 1980s to today, tell you that Larry Bird was different, you don't question it. You listen, because the ones who truly know basketball speak his name with clarity, not just as one of the best of his time, but as someone who transcended time itself. Larry Bird wasn't built to fit a moment. He was built to define one. And that's why, no matter how the game changes or how eras shift, the truth remains.
Nah, Larry Bird was different. I mean, bruh, the way people talk about Larry, bro, yeah, y'all gotta put more respect on Larry's name. I ain't gonna lie, bro. But look, man, y'all already know what to do, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Tune into the other videos I dropped today. But I'm probably gonna drop the passing video because I'm gonna react to it. So go ahead and tune to the passing video that I dropped on Larry Bird. But look, man, y'all already know. Larry Bird is one of the ones. But let me know y'all think he could have played in today's era. Y'all think he really could have played in today's era? And how many points y'all think he's an average in today's era? But let me know in the comments, man. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next, man. No cap.